Hello and welcome to this live session. And tonight we're going to be talking about productivity. We'll be talking about uh, time management, rather time optimization, making your life better by optimizing your time. And it's not a conventional conversation. Remember, the people who I bring to speak to my audience, the people who I bring to reach out to my audience are not conventional people. It means it's not just some cliche word, it's not just some, regular conversation. There's just so much that we need to learn and unlearn about time management, what we call time management. And a lot of people have been burnt out many times. I mean, maybe you are on the verge of a major burnout right now and you're coming across this video. It's literally a lifesaver. And I'll be having an amazing speaker, an amazing coach, an amazing guest on my show tonight. One thing that I want you to do for me is once you come in, once you step into this arena, just let me know where you're watching from. That's number one. And then number two is, drop a comment, introduce yourself in the comments, and let us know where you're watching from. Would really, really love to know that. And let me let me quickly give sort of a background of who I am bringing on board, so that you can get to know her, you can get to know who we are bringing here to share with us. So this is Coach Megan McNabb. I got it correctly this time. So, Coach Megan McNabb, she is the founder of Sogorism and the creator of the Ideal Planning Method. It's a human first approach to productivity, planning, and sustainable growth. With over 7 years of experience in digital strategy, operations, and creative leadership, Coach Megan blends practical systems with energetic alignment to help individuals and businesses move from burnout to clarity. Now, she's known for reframing productivity away from hustle and toward intention, rhythm, and self trust. She empowers people to design lives and workflows that support both ambition and well being. Her work proves that true productivity comes from alignment, not pressure. Ladies and gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome on stage Coach Megan. So I'll be bringing her up right now, and in about 45 minutes to an hour, she would share so much insight with us. So much insight. So get your pens ready, get your questions ready. Some people are going to get gifts. I mean, some people are going to get gifts tonight. Some people are going to get, let me just give that expo, right? So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome on stage, Coach Megan.
Hello. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Thank you for being on my show. Thank you for being on my podcast.
Yeah, of course. Of course. I'm happy to be here. It's funny. It's one of the first times that I've heard that version of my bio back to me. And I was like, yeah, this sounds good. So thank you for that.
Thank you.
Excellent. Yeah. So, hi, everyone.
So,
Anyone
so
who's
you,
watching me
you have the
now.
floor. You have the floor now.
Yes. Yes. So, yes, I just wanted to say hi to everyone who may be watching live or watching the playback. We're happy to have you here. So I have been working in operations and uh, the digital space for over 10 years from now, and over, I would say, the time span that I've owned my business, which is, yeah, coming on 8 years, a little bit longer than that. One of the things that has always come up with every client that I speak to, because I talk to clients about, I work with clients mostly in helping them find the systems and processes that work best for managing their business. And one of the things that always came out of that was time management. I never have enough time. I don't have time to do that. That's why people hire me and my team to work with them, is because they don't have enough time. And so something that I've used for, I would say, my entire professional career is my calendar. It's like my Bible. My calendar and me, if it's not in my calendar, it doesn't get done. And that's something that I was surprised to learn that others weren't doing. So over the last few years, I've developed a program called the Ideal Planning Method that essentially uses my framework called the Soul Framework to help you manage your time more effectively. So before we dig into the conversation that I want to have around productivity and what it means, I sort of quickly break down what the soul framework is. So soul breaks into SOUL. So sense, feel into what's true for yourself, notice the energy that you're craving and what's no longer in alignment with you. O is optimization. So aligning with your time and your systems that work best for you. U is unleash, take inspired, intentional action towards what you want to fulfill. And then loop, which is essentially that reflection, adjustment, integration, and feedback loop. So we're going to take that soul framework today around the conversation of productivity. Because my belief, I wouldn't even say it's a belief at this point, there's a connotation attached to the word productivity. We feel like productivity means we got to get as much done as we can. But realistically, that drives you to burnout, that drives you to getting sick. You can always be on this hamster wheel where you feel like you can never get off of it. That's the definition of productive. I'm productive because I look busy all the time. Well, you might be someone that looks busy all the time or is busy, but are you really getting done what you want to get done? Does it align with who you are? Or is it just what someone else has decided for you? We don't have a productivity problem. We have an alignment problem. Productivity is not doing more. Productivity is aligning with your energy and your intention behind what you're doing. So what happens is most systems are not built to help us actually get things done. Most systems fail because they ignore humans. So with planning, we're going to look from the inside out through sense, optimize, unleash, loop. So with sense, we're going to start with taking a look at, before we fix anything, we notice. We're going to take a look at the energy drains, the invisible habits, the things that make us busy, but really in the end make us ineffective. So I don't know if you know how many hours you have available to yourself in a week. We have 24 hours in a day, 7 days a week. If you put that into a total sum, it's 160 hours a week. Out of that, we usually sleep about 8 hours a week. So if you take that 36 hours off, you're left with 124 hours a week to utilize towards moving your life forward. You may have friends, you may have family, you may have partners, you may have jobs, you may have animals, you have all of these responsibilities, and we just kind of get into this flow of going day by day by day and not actually looking at what lights us up and what's draining our energy. So before you decide to make a to-do list or you decide to, implement one of these productivity programs, look within yourself first. How do you want to be spending your time and prioritizing your personal time? Carving out the spaces in your week that are for you. Because usually we start with work. We'll plan out, okay, I'm going to be working 9 to 5 p.m. every day, and then the rest of my time is my time. Flip it. Instead, decide what time you want to have off, especially if you're an entrepreneur or you have the flexibility of building your own schedule. It's so easy to get stuck in working all the time. And most of us are taught within the entrepreneurial culture that when you first start a business, you have to work all of these crazy hours to make your business successful. Although that is true, it's also most important that we can sustain ourselves, because if we're not there to sustain our business, especially in the first few years, who else is going to take over the work for us? No one. And then that risks our reputation, that risks our client retention, and that risks the relationship that we have with our audience. So that's why I say prioritize your time first. Block off the time in your day that you want to spend with you. Maybe that's, in the evening, you're not working from the time that after you have dinner until the time that you want to go to bed. Instead of that being a work slot, maybe that becomes a time for you and yourself to grow, to expand, to evolve, things like that. So once you've determined how you want to spend your time, then you want to optimize it, because time is fixed. Energy is flexible. Match your tasks to your energy. We all know what days we feel the most energized. I can say on a Monday, that's not usually the day that I have the most energy, but it is enough energy that I can get meetings done. So my Mondays are for my meetings. Tuesday is the day that I get my task work done, because I know by Tuesday I have that extra oomph. I'm not coming off the weekend. Maybe I had a super busy weekend with family, so I'll utilize my time on Tuesday to get all my tasks done, because let's say Monday I'm a little groggy and tired. I can still show up for my meetings really effectively, but any work that I really have to dig deep into my brain or be resourceful in the tasks that I'm completing, I leave those for Tuesday. Fewer priorities. We all think we need to have this endless to-do list of 100 different tasks on it. There's a theory that our brain can really only handle up to 5 tasks per day. So from my research, one of the systems that works very effectively is selecting your big 3 and picking 3 big tasks that you want to get done on a daily basis. You can use that weekly and monthly as well. So what are the big 3 overarching things you want to get done each month? What are the big 3 things you want to get done each week? And then what are the big 3 things you're going to get done every day? And within those big 3, sit with yourself, which one feels the most draining? Which one feels like it's the one you're most likely to put off? The one that you're just going to leave to tomorrow. That is your eat the frog. And once you identify your eat the frog, do that task first, because what we resist persists. So when we resist a task, then that task can linger on our to-do list for weeks, versus just putting in a little bit of dedicated effort. Even if it's 5 minutes, will move you further every day than trying to procrastinate around, I don't know, whatever feeling is coming up for you around that task. So even if you don't get the whole thing done in that day, whatever your eat the frog is, you're still moving the needle forward by focusing on it every day until the task is done. The last thing is designing your real life. So my program is called the Ideal Planning Method, because an ideal isn't actually real. An ideal is a dream life. An ideal is what we're working towards and striving towards. And we get closer and closer to that every day. But what happens on a daily basis in real life may not always be what's in our ideal plan. So we have to be flexible and find that shift. So using time blocking and extending a time block, maybe 15 minutes more than you think a task is actually going to take you, gives you buffer space for real life. A phone call, bio breaks. We all have to go to the washroom every once in a while. Things like an unexpected person showing up at your front door, maybe a family member needs your assistance. That extra 15 minutes that you've now scheduled into that time block allows you to have that buffer space, especially with calls. If you're taking lots of meetings throughout your week or discovery calls, give yourself a buffer space, 15 minutes, half an hour after that call in case the call runs long, so you're not running late for call after call after call. And then once you understand what you can optimize, this is where Unleash comes into play. So the execution feels lighter when clarity is present. So for example, decision fatigue. Sometimes I'm guilty of this. I know we all can get into that, is that we say yes to things because we think we have the energy for it, or maybe we have something we need to say yes to. We need to make a decision on a contract, or we need to make a decision on hiring a new person. Sometimes when we're so caught up in overwhelm, we can get decision fatigue, where that could be where we've taken on too many tasks. And now that we're in execution mode, we know we can't get it done because we've taken on too much, or we don't have the clarity within our brains to actually make a good decision. So by optimizing your time and having effective work blocks that actually work within a relative time frame that you need to get a task done, it reduces the risk of decision fatigue. It also reduces overcommitment, which can go both ways. So if you find that you keep saying yes, 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 and then you don't actually have time to get everything done, or you're staying up until midnight, 2 a.m., 3 a.m., trying to get everything done, you're overcommitting yourself. So that's where your boundaries come into place. And thinking of boundaries as a productivity tool, not a roadblock. So setting an expectation that I'm going to finish my workday at 3 p.m. because that's when I go to pick up my daughter, and honoring that space between the time I pick up my daughter and the time I put my daughter to bed may seem like that's less time than I have to put towards work. But by prioritizing her, it stops the conversation that happens in my head around, I could be a better mother. I could be doing more for my daughter. Am I showing up for her the way that I should be? Should I be answering this email? No, I've created a boundary around that time that makes that time sacred and prioritizes what's important to me. And you can set whatever boundary you want. It doesn't mean that there aren't weekends where I do work, but I prioritize the time that I have with her so that she's my focus. And then I don't feel so bad if I have to ask for a nanny or ask for a babysitter in the evening or for a day here and there, because I know that I'm prioritizing the time for her on the other days that I can or can't, versus it being something that I'm just making a last minute decision on. So then the last tool, or the last step, is loop. Reflection is how consistency actually happens. So this is the ongoing system of support. So once you've identified what your current autopilot is, or your baseline is of how you're operating right now, and then you can see where you need to optimize and what is holding you back so that you can be unleashed, that's where reflection and constant check-in with yourself builds consistency. So weekly check-ins, having a check-in with an accountability partner, or joining an accountability group or club, having a set up call with, if you have one, a manager or a boss, or if you are the owner of your business and you have staff, setting up check-in calls with your staff so that you consistently know what's going on. Having a check-in with yourself at the beginning and the end of the day. Setting up your day at the beginning of the day and doing an end of the day review before you move on to your family time. And adjusting without judgment. If you think something is happening or should be happening in your schedule, and then you notice that it's not working. So say, for example, you are like me, where you will just work all day long. And then you feel super tired after 3 or 4 days. That may be a sign that you need to rest. And adding in a time block for rest will actually make that happen. I was speaking to one of my coaches a few months ago. I was like, I just feel tired all the time. And she's like, well, Megan, do you rest throughout your day? And I was like, well, yeah, like I take a break, I have lunch. And she's like, no. Like, do you actually give yourself permission to rest, to take a nap or meditate or, sit out by your pool? Like, I live in the Dominican Republic. I live in a beautiful paradise, and I don't even go outside to sit by my pool. That's not serving me. So as soon as she said that, I recognized, oh, I actually don't rest. She recommended, okay, well, where can you add that into your day? And at first I looked at it and I was like, my day is so full. I've got so many responsibilities, which shows you that even though this is my method and process, this has been through process of elimination and from actively working on this process every day that I've found so much clarity within it. And by adding that rest time, which now I honor consistently, it has drastically affected my productivity. I'm actually getting more done by taking a break than I was before by not taking that break, because it allows me to adjust without judgment and have systems that evolve. Don't get stuck in one pathway that has to work. Be that step ahead. So for a system, for example, that can be a system of communication with your family or your friends, that can be with your staff, that can be with your team members, freelancers, service providers. Have those systems set in place so that as things start to expand, you can evolve those systems that don't mean that it overloads on your time. The most successful people, if you study those who are finding success or have built a business that is a Fortune 500 company or is, generating 6 figures or 7 figures a year, they have systems in place that support them and don't fall apart when things need to shift or change. They evolve with them. So here's a brief exercise that you can use to help you implement this system. One thing you can do and start today. Do an activity audit. For the rest of the week, even, rate your activity. Track your day, everything that you do, and rank it from 1 to 5. 1 being it's energy draining, 5 being it's energy boosting. That awareness alone will change how you plan your life. This theory came from the book Atomic Habits by James Clear. One of the things he recommends is taking an audit of how you're spending your time and ranking if it's energy boosting or energy draining, so that way you can see where your energy is being used most and if it's effective or ineffective. So energy draining tasks could be things like aimlessly scrolling social media for one person. Whereas for the next person, scrolling social media may be something that actually ignites their creativity, gives them a spark of motivation, or inspires an idea for them to execute on within that time block that they have set out for them. So that could be energy boosting, could be going for a walk for one person, whereas another, if it's a new task that they're starting or a new thing that they're wanting to implement, new habit that they're wanting to implement into their lives, it could feel pretty draining. So it's different for every single person, but acknowledging for yourself what is energizing for you and what is draining for you helps you to discover what your ideal soul rhythm is. Because the same way that a computer has an algorithm, or any of these online platforms have algorithms that help optimize their efficiency, we all have a soul rhythm. We are the original computers. So by knowing what aligns with us and what doesn't align with us, allows us to be clearer in our routine, clear in our communication, and honor what's important to us. Because hustle culture doesn't get you anywhere. What gets you where you want to be is honoring who you are inside and expressing that to everyone out there. So, yeah, that's pretty much all that I have to say today about the soul framework and how you can implement that into productivity and time management on a daily basis. If it's something that you're interested in learning more about, there's some resources that'll be available, I think, in the description here. You can always connect with me on Instagram. My handle is Meg Moments with 2Gs. You can check out my website, which is www.wildlydigital.com. And yeah, you can pretty much find us on any social media platform. And I am also launching the Soul Ribbon brand over the next few months. So you will see more coming from there.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Coach Megan. Let me pull up the banner so that people can go check out the link. This should be it, and I'll also put it in the comment section. So
Great.
anyone who is interested in checking it out, there are lots. I mean, there are good resources there, very good resources there that she has made
Yeah.
available for you to download.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the floor is also open for questions. Anyone who's got questions about productivity. I mean, it was really an impressive conversation because there's there's so much information out there. In fact, the problem a lot of times is not that you don't know what to do or that you don't know you don't have the right knowledge per se, but the fact is there's just too much out there and the noise is a lot, right? There's so much noise out there. People are coming out with different kinds of advice and suggestions that you don't know what to stick to. I remember having a conversation with someone, particularly where not just one person. People will always ask me, how do you get to achieve a lot of the things that you do? How do you get to do all the things that you do? Um, given that I don't really focus on one identity, right? And I'm still able to do a lot. And I tell them, one of the reasons is like that is you know what I do, but you don't know what I don't do. So prioritization of tasks is like one of the most important things that you can do for yourself. Like you said, being able to look at your tasks and find out what you don't even want to do at all, and also being able to reduce the pressure that you're mounting on yourself in terms of achieving everything on your to-do list. Uh, I could remember sometime back in the years, I think that was probably around 2021, 2020, yeah, 2021, where I, I had to write new goals for the year, goals for the new year, and all of that. And um, you would write up to maybe 10 things in your to-do list every single day, right? So by night I'm writing something for the next day, or in the morning I'm trying to write something I'm going to do for the day, and I have like 15 different objects on the to-do list. And I put myself under so much pressure. It doesn't usually end up well. Maybe out of the 15 I'll do like five, and by the time you start analyzing that five, you realize that these are like five unnecessary things. I mean, you just had to do them to fill up your ego that you've achieved something for the day. But then by the time you start prioritizing and determining to work on what really matters, I had to learn about the Eisenhower metrics for prioritization, and I started categorizing my tasks into the four quadrants, the things that fill up my calendar into those four quadrants. So
Yeah.
what is urgent and important, what is not
Yeah.
urgent exactly. So I had to do that, and it was really useful to me, that I could figure out what the most important tasks are, especially the ones that maybe, carry so much value and volume, right? And I decide to, make it like the top three, top five things I want to do for the day, and I'm able to achieve that. And then sometimes I may not even have something written down that I want to achieve, but then I have it at the back of my mind that this is the most important task for the moment. So I don't have my calendar crowding it with everything that passes. I'll just put it in there. So yes, this has been a pretty impressive conversation, really amazing conversation. Thank you for joining. Coach Dan is here. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining in. And I have my brother, my big brother is also watching. He made a comment live. Thank you so much. I really appreciate your turning up. And if anyone um contributes, you can come on screen. We can have you on screen. So yes, someone is asking a question. So you're going to see my son in. That's my big brother. So he's saying, what should I stop doing to become more productive, and what should I do to improve my productivity? Like, are there practical tips? So, like, to the 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 regular person, the regular corporate person, maybe a medical professional, a doctor, a therapist, who is asking questions like, what are practical tips, practical, applicable tips that we can start using to get more productive? What can we stop doing to be more productive? I'm going to share some of my own personal experiences later, but I would like to hear from you, Coach Megan.
Yeah, for sure. So one thing is brain dumping, doing a daily brain dump. So having a sheet of paper, this is one thing that can help you become more productive, is keeping a notebook beside you, and I'm sure you do
Brain
here,
dumping.
especially, is keeping a working in sorry, there's some feedback happening.
Working
Lost my
in
train of thought. Sorry, there's some feedback happening. Lost my train of thought. So yeah, so having a notebook beside you, and having a brain dump page. So having a sheet of paper that you call a brain dump, and anytime that you think of something that you want to get done, write it on that piece of paper. And then using the Eisenhower method, which I'm glad you brought that up, I tweak it a little bit. I call it top priority, would be nice, can wait, delegate. And doing the same thing, finding your four quadrants, allowing yourself to have your big three. So that big three every day will help you to be more productive. And what you should stop doing is thinking you need to do everything yourself. So by using that four quadrant method, put in your top three of the things that you want to get done, a maximum of 5 things that would be nice. The rest of your list goes into can wait and delegate, and challenge yourself to delegate at least 5 tasks a day. That's one way to be more productive. So to answer your question clearly, start documenting every idea or every thought that comes into your head of things you need to get done. Write it in your brain dump. And then stop doing everything yourself. Start delegating. Delegate as much as you can to, AI. It's one of the great things that we have it. And also to those around you. You don't have to do everything yourself, especially as a mother. We feel like, I know for myself, I feel like I have to do it all myself. Best thing I ever did was hire a cleaning lady and get child support. Opened up tons of time for me. So yeah, I hope that answers your question.
Yes, it sure does. It sure does. Thank you very much. Anyone else? Anyone else got questions? Please do well to put it in the comment section. Um, yes, and then if you're picking anything from this conversation, you can you can also put it down in the comments, and you know I'll love to put it up. Okay. So yes, we'll start documenting and delegating more. Yes, thank you very much for engaging. Thank you very much. So that's my big brother right there. I mean, I said it the other time, but they're always there. They're always there to support me. They're always there to, you know, see tune into anything I'm doing, and I'm really glad. I'm really glad about that. So yeah, I think I'm going to be showing I'm going to be showing my face for a while. Um, and I'd like to share some of my own personal experiences about the question what I what you don't do, what you should not do, right? Beyond the intentional desire to plan for certain things that I want to achieve or certain goals I have, maybe daily, weekly, whatever. There are also micro habits or you know personality traits or intentions, behaviors that I do not indulge, right? So for for me, I do not watch. I used to love watching football. I used to love watching, soccer matches. I used to love watching maybe cartoons or movies and stuff like that. But then I looked at it and I decided that, in order for me to be able to have more time for the most important tasks in my life, I have to intentionally eliminate the quadrant four activities, and that is, the activities that are not urgent and not important. So the moment you eliminate these, it's not necessary to eliminate. I'm not saying it's a must to eliminate, but you know, I tell people this a lot of times. Learn to do less of anything you can do without. So the moment the moment I decided that I was going to do less of those things that are not urgent and are not important, right? I mean, if I don't do this, it's not going to cost me so much. It's not even going to cost me anything, maybe pleasure, but that moment of pleasure is, barely enough. I mean, compared to what I would have been able to achieve, put that, on a fair scale. Now, that's one thing that I don't do. I also do not, randomly just go to really defined. If I want to hang out, it's going to be maybe a program somewhere or, friends talking about business, about life, about career, relationships, whatever. And then when it comes to do what I do, intentionally this time, just like you said, this is a very, very fantastic point. Very, very fantastic point. Um, you know, no, delegation delegation. So I delegate as well. I mean, I still learning to delegate a lot because there's really no award for the best in suffering. I've not seen anyone like that. I've not seen anybody receiving an award for the best in suffering. So I realized that I don't really have to do everything by myself. I don't really have to. And um, besides that, I developed a model, just like you developed a model SOUL, and that's phenomenal. I mean, mine is MADO, MADO. Maybe I should put in the comments MADO. And M is mechanized, A is automate, D is delegate, and O is outsource. And that's why when you said delegate, I just my face popped because I mean, what are the odds? That we're gonna use that same delegate, and it makes a lot of sense. And anybody who is watching this is a cue to take from this conversation. So mechanize is anything that machines can do, let machines do them. I mean, if you can afford a washing machine, if you can afford a blender, some of these things that make life easier for us, right? And then there's MA, that's autumn. No, am I right? Yes, that's automate. Yeah, mechanize, automate, delegate, outsource. So automate is basically using tools that make life easy to get things running in your absence. Okay, so if you have to automate micro chats, people sending hello, happy Christmas, happy New Year. I'm going to be exposing myself right now, but if you have to automate some of those messages so that you can have more time for more important and more urgent activities, and also time for rest. So if you've got to automate some of these messages, the responses to those messages, fine. If people are buying your product or buying your service or paying for anything that you're offering and they're reaching out to you, maybe lead magnets and stuff, you don't have to be the one like replying to every message. You can code it and get autoresponders to actually respond to some of those messages so that you can have more time. So that's automation. And right now there's a lot going into AI for automation. AI for automations. And I feel like a lot of us can make use of some of these tools, some of these amazing tools that are coming out every day. So it's going to make life way easier. The best thing for us is not to like shun innovation, but actually to look into it and leverage on whatever it's offering us and then delegate. Delegate, you've already explained that. I mean, hire a chef like Coach Megan, hire anything, anybody hireable, to replace. Now, this is the way I look at it. If I'm going to do work, and I mean, if I'm going to maybe get on a call with a client and the client is going to pay me a certain amount for that call, and I would have used that time to do some menial task that I know that I can outsource. It makes no sense for me to actually try to do the menial task by myself when I know that there's somebody who can help me get it done. Maybe compiling something, putting something together, whatever, cleaning, all of this activity would block the time I would have used for something more profitable, something more, more productive, whatever. It'll be kind of insane for me to sacrifice the time I would have used for meaningful tasks, for high value, for executive thinking, to go do menial tasks. So I mean, it makes logical sense to delegate your those things to other people, and I'll put delegate and outsource together. So delegation could be that you are getting somebody to do something for you, maybe a team member, maybe your subordinate, maybe a family member, maybe your spouse, if you're married, your husband or your wife. Oh, please help me do this, help me do that, and you're assigning rules to them, right? But if you're going to talk about maybe hiring somebody to do your work for you so that you can have more time, that's you literally outsourcing that particular thing. So this is, I mean, it's been an amazing conversation so far, very, very amazing conversation. And I'm grateful. I'm grateful. This is streaming to, oh, thank you. So it's my family is, this is more like a family gathering. I'm seeing a lot of my family members here. Thank you very much, Juliet Odi. That's my sister-in-law, and she's a pharmacist, and I know this conversation is also going to be very beneficial for her. And anyone who's got questions, you have anything to ask, uh, Coach Megan is here for the next couple minutes before we can call it a night. And yes, the link is still showing on the screen, so you can get access to that link. I'll put it in the comment section, so get access. Yes, absolutely, absolutely. I had to share this link to the group of mothers that I run, Healthy Wealthy Moms Club, and because this conversation is absolutely important for mothers. This conversation is absolutely important for mothers, and I'm grateful for that. Um, it it's one of the it's let me say, would it be the number one or like the top three concerns, the top three challenges the average mother anywhere in the world is talking about is burnout. It's burnout. I mean, it's not it's not meant to be surprising because you know unless for those who don't understand, motherhood is work. Motherhood is a lot of work, a lot of work, mentally, psychologically, emotionally. It's a lot of work. So a lot of women, a lot of mothers complain about burnout, complain about handling so many tasks. We glory in the fact that sometimes we tell people that women multitask. Women know how to multitask. Is a gift that they have to multitask, and some people now carry that as a badge. Oh, I am a woman. I should multitask. I should do everything. I shouldn't even complain. And when they break down, they feel guilty for breaking down. And I think these are the uncomfortable conversations that we need to keep having, and these are issues that we need to keep addressing. Thank you once again. Thank you so much.
Yeah, for sure. Speaking of being a mother, I have to go pick up my daughter. So yes, this has been an awesome conversation, and I'll leave it on time blocking. I gave myself this time block, and now I have to go move on to my next task to make sure that I can get my daughter on time and spend the time with her that I need to. And I'm happy to come back and talk about motherhood and productivity with motherhood anytime.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So, what's your last word for my audience?
Find your soul rhythm. Find the routine that works best for you and ignore the noise. Once you find the rhythm that works for you for managing your time and your ideal life, that's when your dreams start to take off.
Amazing, 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 amazing. Thank you so, so much. Thank you so, so much. This really, really, really means a lot to me. And definitely a lot of us are learning something from this conversation. Thank you so much. My people are saying thank you. They're grateful. Thank you so much. It's been a wonderful conversation. I'm popping up the comments quickly on the screen. Um, yeah.
Okay, yeah,
So
thank you
this
for
is
having
this is
me.
also my sister-in-law. Thank you. Thank you. She's We're all grateful. We're all grateful. Thank
Yes,
you
and
so much.
this comment here about the maternity leave, that is amazing. I'm
Mm,
glad you washed your hair. That is huge. During maternity leave, I get that.
mm,
There are days where that's all we can get done. That's a win.
mm-hmm,
All right. Well, I will let you go on
mm-hmm.
that. Have a fantastic day, and I'm happy to come back anytime.
Sure. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Bye. Okay. Oh, goodness and mercy. It's been an amazing conversation, and ain't it? It's been an amazing conversation. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for joining. Um, yeah, ignore the noise. Find what works for you. Yes, yes. Thank you so much for joining. I hope you got something from this conversation. Please feel free to share your take home, and you can tag me when you share. Okay, feel free to share your take home from this conversation that we had, and tag me, and let me know who you want me to invite. Let me know what topic you want us to discuss again. Who knows? Um, I'll definitely get someone on board. I want to especially appreciate my DreamWorks coach, Coach Dan, for the amazing opportunity to, do a lot of things. I mean, I've been learning so much. Um, we've been doing a lot, working together in the community, the coaching community, meeting people, and all of that. So I want to especially appreciate. That was how I got to connect with Coach Megan. And for anybody who is watching, any expert who is watching, um, and you want to come around and have some time, share some experience with my audience. I believe a lot of people would want to learn from you. Um, please feel free to reach out. Let me know what you do and you know what your coaching is all about, and then we can figure out something for my audience. So yeah, you have an amazing day. Bye. Thank you. 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 You guys, you guys. If you check my comment section, you'll see my family members. So please do well to go ahead and follow them, check out what they are doing. I mean, really, really, really amazing stuff. A lot of things I do today, I learn from them. A whole lot of things I do today, I learn from them. A whole lot of experiences I've acquired, a whole lot of industries I've functioned in, is because I have a large, amazing family. And they are here. They are here. So, feel free, check them out, go and follow them. You know, anything they tell you, do. Anything they tell you to do, do. You will not miss road. Okay. Do have an amazing night rest, everybody. And if it's morning in your country, morning rest, anyone. Okay. Have an amazing night rest. Bye. Thank you. Thank you, promise. Thank you, promise. Um, Oni Boluwatife, promise, Neka Nkechukwu, my amazing sister-in-law, and Juliet Oge, Juliet Oge, Ogodike, Dalono, Rine. Thank you so much. It was nice having you. Thank you, Chidera and Chisto. Thank you.